Welcome everybody to RWB Racing. Here with my host Cody. You there, my friend?
I am here, Chris. How are you?
I'm so great. How are you?
Oh, doing good, bud.
Awesome. Well, this is our. I don't know how many times you and I have done this together, but what is interesting is this is our first time on 12 ounce sports. So how awesome is that?
It's wonderful. I think it's not many people get that opportunity to stream to a platform like that. So, me personally, I am very grateful for 12 ounce to allow us to stream to their platform or website.
Yep. Nope. It's going to be awesome. So for those of you that don't know RWB, uh, give us a minute to introduce ourselves. We're also trying to do a lot of technical things here in the backside here to bring you guys a great show. Um, First off, I want to say a big shout out to our sponsor, Detailing Group Incorporated. They're out of California, a steel detailing organization. They're sponsoring our Super Formula series this year or this season. So a big shout out to them. If you want to know more about them, you can go to their website, detailinggroup.com. Um, so, any case, let me do a couple of things on the back end of my stuff here, so I can make sure all of my stuff looks good. Let's bring up the track so everybody can kind of see what's going on here. And I will see, is anybody out? Oh, you're out. You're out on the track.
Yep, I am
Oh,
out. I am out.
awesome. All right. So, we have got a bunch of laps to run. Those of you out there watching us on our YouTube channel, RWB Racing, or following us on Twitter, or watching us on Facebook, feel free to pop us a message. We might even be able to get you up, your message up on the screen here. I know Cody here is going to be monitoring that. Probably not right now while he's doing 200 miles an hour on a racetrack, but
Yeah, don't text and drive, folks.
yeah. Hey, why don't you do me a favor, Cody, and while I get some stuff together here on my end, and tell people about the track and what you're going on right now. How's it going?
Alright, so right now, this is not the car I'm going to be using for this season. What I've done here, I've made our own little RWB livery. Gorgeous looking car in my opinion, but, that's totally not being biased or anything. But, so, I'm getting ready to approach the front straight here. And I'm going to be setting a hot lap. Now, this track is very technical. It's got kind of a dance to it, when you go through these curves, because you sit here. Let me pass Mex here, but it's almost like you're in one constant motion with the turns. It's not no stop and then turn and then go. It's a lot of these corners here are very continuous. I just messed this one up. But the great thing about this track is it's going to create a lot of opportunities to overtake your opponents. And as far as, from what I've seen in times, the times are actually pretty close so far. Now, that was back on Sunday or Saturday when I was on here pretty much all day. Fastest I've seen was about a 127.3. And I've seen some as low as about 130 or 131. But I know people have been training very hard and putting in the hours to, to lower their times. So I imagine this field is going to be tight. And especially with the talent that we've got, competition's going to get fierce. And there is an incentive to this, the season of Super Formula. And by the way, folks, this is our 4th season of SF.
And you know what?
So
You've been in every season, correct?
I have.
Yep.
Been
This will be the first one I'm
beginning.
missing. But I get to see it from here, so that's all good. Well, let me go over the oh, you know what? Are we live on Facebook? Is there anybody out on
We
Facebook land
are.
seeing this? Okay,
We
perfect.
are.
The our sponsor detailing group guy is looking on Facebook to try to find us. So if you're listening out there, Mr. Detailing Group, you can go to the RWB facebook.com/RWB Racing, and that is the Facebook page that this will be coming on. So anyway, all right. So let me tell you guys a little bit about this series while you're watching these guys drive around. I'm gonna take a look at some of the other drivers. Here's Jack driving around on the track. We'll give Jack some love. Um, and folks, be patient with me. I'm running 5 different screens and a lot of different things to make this look as good as it does. So be patient with me. Um, so a little bit about this, and like I said, thanks again, 12 Ounce Sports, for taking an opportunity to put us out there and letting all these other people see what it is we do at RWB Racing. Um, we'll talk more about RWB, as we go through these practice sessions. Um, but like I said, our social media stuff is there at the bottom of the screen, so you can find us in all kinds of places. But I want to talk about the series. So, like Cody was saying, this is our 4th season now, and the first one was the Lamplighter, which had like some very basic racing, and at each season it's just gotten a little bit more complex and a little bit more challenging for the drivers. And this is by far the most challenging one, because now these drivers are doing actually 2 races in one night on 2 separate tracks, so they have to get all their stuff in order, like be able to adapt. But what we're going to be doing tonight is doing some practice races, and maybe we'll do one here in just a second. Um, we're going to be doing a qualifying on Friday, just a couple of days. That will set the grid for the first race, which will happen the following Friday night, and we will be streaming that here on 12 Ounce Sports and on RWB's channels as normal. But this race is a little unique. First, they're half the distance they were last season, but there's 2 races. There are tire requirements, so they must run the soft tires and they must run the hard tires, 5 laps each, sometime during the session. So they can choose other tires, run them longer. They can run them in 2 different stints. I don't care as long as they pull them out 5 laps each, right? So there's a lot going on here. Most of the races they should be okay on fuel. I think the only one they might have to take some fuel on is when we get to Spa, because it's a much longer track. So we'll see how that works out. And also new this year, we have our first official sponsor with Detailing Group. So once again, thank you, Detailing Group. The guy that owns the company there, his name is David Ball. I know him personally. I've known him his entire life. He is a family member of mine. He's my brother, and he has been an avid lover of racing for ever. I still remember us taking cars and driving them sideways on the streets on the way to school. So, always been a car guy. So we want to thank him. And with that comes a unique thing with this group, and that is this season, at the end of the championship, the top 3 drivers are going to receive 50 cents for every point they've earned. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but we're not Formula One or FIA, so we don't have a lot of money, right? But and then the next places 4 through 7 will receive 25 cents, and then the constructor series championship, which is the team championship, will receive $40 to split between the 2 teams. So I'm gonna do a quick check to make sure everyone is still hearing me. Cupcake, are you still there?
Roger.
Roger. All right, perfect. Um, so there are teams here. So we have 7 teams. And I'm going to tell you more about it while we're doing some of these races. So I'm going to send out a little message blast to that we're going to be starting soon. So let's see. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do 5 laps. So, folks, if you just bear with me, I think I had it set for 5 laps already on the practice. So we should be able to start it right now. We're gonna do 5 laps. So let me just put that down, and I'm just letting the other drivers know what's going on. Things are a
Yep.
little different with esports,
While
folks.
and while you're typing here, I'm gonna read some comments.
Okay.
So Aaron Corti and Keith Dickens are both saying hello to us. So hello, glad to have you guys on the stream. And then you may recognize this name, Chris. Nick Shannon McLeod saying good
Hey,
luck to
I know
all the
that
new
guy.
racers. Yes,
That was my teammate from last season.
it was. And unfortunately, he's not going to be joining us for this season of SF. But let me tell you, he was a heck of a racer last season. I mean, he gave everybody a run for their money.
Yep, he sure was. Let me get this race started really quick, so people can
Yep.
get some action going. So just this is a video game, folks. So it does take us a little setup to get things started and going. So just be patient there while we get this thing going. All right. We've got 7 cars in practice today.
Yep.
So we just got to wait for the lights to go. Here we go. All right, so we're going to focus here on our first place driver, Jack, RWB
Yep.
Jack. So,
Shall I start off this commentary?
yeah, get on it.
Yeah, we will get on it. So we got Jack, Grasso, Quad Maze, Supermax, Kitch, Joey, and Big Red all lining up here on the grid. Engines are revving, lights are turning green, and we're off. Jack getting a wonderful start, as well as V Grasso. But look at that, Joey Cannoli coming out of nowhere, already gained about, I'd say about 1 or 2 positions. Jack is going on the inside, Grasso on the outside. Jack is going to keep the lead. Kitchuation, Supermax, and Joey, as well as Big Red, they are all fighting for 3rd place. So we got 2 separate battles here between Grasso and Jack. Grasso is just kind of tailing Jack here at the moment, trying to predict his move. We got somebody in the dirt, and that is going to be Kwame.
Oh no. That's a deadly turn right there, too.
That is a very bad turn. If you take it wrong or you take it too wide, you're done. You might as well start building sandcastles.
Yep.
So, taking a look here, Jack has now accrued about a 1
Oh,
second lead
and
over
someone else just
Grasso.
went off the track. It looks like Supermex ate it in a corner, too.
That is not what I wanted to see. But he's alright, he's good. Kitchuation, meanwhile, overtakes Grasso for 2nd place. What a move.
Don't count Grasso out. He was on fire
No.
last season.
He had a slow start in the beginning, you know, considering he was new to the group, new to these kinds of cars, but let me tell you, I mean, towards the end of the season, he was getting it. Constant top 5 finishes, constant podium finishes. I think he won a couple as well. And Supermax going into the pits, looked like he was trying to test out the hard tires. So I think he's going to go into full attack on softs. No. Nope, gonna stay on hards. Jack, meanwhile, he's showing everybody how it's done.
He is. Now I see that Big Red is, and I'm just going to bring him up in our little bottom window here. He's trying to chase down our 4th place driver. So there's this nice little battle for 4th happening here while we watch Jack continuing to open a little bit of a gap there. I'm going to tell you a little bit about so Jack, yourself, and a couple other drivers. They were setting some blistering practice times this week. I've been holding open practice lobbies all week, and they've been coming in just really getting this track figured out. So it's been fun to kind of watch that. Let's go to a different view here of Big Red as he's following Joey Cannoli around the track. Those of you that don't follow esports much, almost all the drivers have nicknames that they go by and player names. Oh, look at this. Is Kitchuation Kitchuation is making a move. Let's get there, and he's making the pass.
Yeah, no. Let's not call it just yet. They're getting ready to go into turn one side by side, but now we could call it. Kitchuation takes the lead.
Yep. Now, it looks like going under the bridge here, Kitchen's already pulled some time on Jack already. Now, maybe these guys are just working together to try to give everybody a little bit of a view. Let's see. I mean, it is a practice. Oh, look who's showing up to the party. It's Vinny. Vinny is showing up to this party.
Yep.
Let's take a look at Vinny here.
You never, ever count Vinny out. Progressive.
Never. So they're on
It's a shame. I'm looking at his livery, and he used to have a really nice Ferrari livery. I nicknamed it the Red Cow last season.
That's right, the red and white one. I remember that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now he's got a very dope looking livery, but I'm gonna miss that Red Cow.
As they bumpity bump around the track, so coming across to complete lap 3, Kitchuation, Jack, and Vinny, still all very close, especially with slipstream and overtake, and it looks like Kitchuation is on his overtake to kind of keep that gap.
Yeah, but Joey Canoli's not going to have any of it. I mean, he just set a fastest lap of 127.2. So
Yeah,
let's keep an eye on him. You know, within the last couple laps here, lap and a half.
We're riding on board with him actually in the mini cam. So we got the cockpit view of Joey while he's trying to track down these top 3 drivers, who are all so close, and I just keep seeing that little pink BWT car popping into the picture every so often in the corners. There's a lot of interesting things going on with the series this year with the drivers and teams and whatnot. And when this race is over, we'll take a few minutes and go over some of that. But many of these drivers have just moved around teams this season and are on all brand new teams. Some of them have stayed, some of them have moved. We'll go over some of that here as they're getting ready they're going through the final chicane here. Probably the most technical and trickiest part on this whole course, and where most time is lost. Oh, look at this. Jack is making his move. Now, Jack has all the overtake because Kitchuation has used it all up. So Jack now back to first. But look at Joey. Right there, Joey is right on top of Vinny now. Whew, this is fun, and this is only 5 laps. They're on the last one, so we'll see how this plays out. Now, Kitchuation he's not giving up, and he sees this bright red and bright pink cars behind him. He's got no overtake left, so he's just got to try to get this car around the track before anything else goes wrong. Oh, Joey goes right out on the apron like he should. It looks like, oh, wow, he closed all the way up on Vinny right there in the Barcelona curve. The last few corners, man. Guys. This is where he's got to try to make it stick.
Look at that. They are between 4th and 1st. There's about a 2.5 second gap.
Yep. Here's the spot, Joey. On the
oh, look
at this.
Come, boy.
Go. Joey's on his overtake. Can he make it happen?
What's he going to do?
What's he going to do? Nope, he doesn't quite make it. So close. That would have been great. Well, that's a fun little practice race. While we let everybody go across the line there.
Yep.
I want to. Oh, go ahead.
I did receive a comment here from G-Bub. Said, dude, no G-Bub? Well, G-Bub, come on in. This is a practice lobby, so we're going to be running laps here until about 9:30, maybe even longer, who knows. So just
Well,
hop
what's
in,
interesting
do some
is
racing.
G-Bub is one of our racers.
He is.
He's on Team Ferrari. So get on in here, son. There's a practice lobby waiting for you. So, let's talk about some cool stuff. First of all, um, our champion from last season's Super Formula Series goes by the name of RWB Cupcake. That's you, bro.
That
So
is.
all of us are in the presence of a champion of our last season's Super Formula. So thanks for coming and hanging out with me, man. I really appreciate it.
Hey, it's no problem. I'm a racer during the day and commentator by night or during the night.
There you go.
So
So what's interesting is the season's a little bit different. What's your take on this season as opposed to last?
this season is gonna be intense. I mean, last season felt more of like an endurance because you had 20 races in a span of almost a year. I mean, we started what, March and didn't end till November. So it tested racers' stamina, and this season it's only 4 weeks, but it's 8 races. People have to adapt to two different tracks a night. And I'll be
Right.
honest with you, my personal take on it is I love it. I love to adapt to different tracks, and it's gonna be a wild ride for sure.
Yeah, and you've got some pretty stiff competition out on the track right now. So,
Oh my gosh.
with the points being very smaller too this season by just a few
Yeah.
points, and the gaps being a little less, you're gonna have to make every position count to bring home the championship this year. So, good luck to you. Um,
Yeah, thank you. And we do have some stiff competition, not only from RWB but from a couple other individuals that are they're in the group, but they're not like a team member.
right.
So I mean, I do want to give a shout out to Ando, our friend from the land down under.
Oh yeah, Ando,
Uh,
right.
he is he is a heck of a racer. He's part of the Grid Line Racing team over in Australia,
Hey,
and they
did you know he's a dairy farmer?
I did not.
I learned that just the other night. I was talking to him, and his whole internet connection and all the stuff that he does is over tethering to a cell phone, and that's how he's done it for years. If you can believe that, isn't that
Wow,
crazy?
that's awesome.
It is
But I
awesome.
mean, racing with him though, it's always fun when he's in a lobby because he'll kick it and he'll battle, and it just gets good. I love it.
Yep. So we're gonna. I think what we'll do is we're gonna do one more five lapper. Do you want to get in on that one? I bet you do. Come
Uh,
on, you know you want to get in there
I can, I can.
because what I'm trying. Oh, it looks like Jay Cota has arrived, so that's the other BWT teammate. So maybe I'll take a minute here. And folks, this practice is a little out of the ordinary for our streaming. So when it comes to the race time, we'll be a little bit more organized. Right now, we're just kind of getting some practice time in there,
Yep.
taking advantage of the fact that 12 ounce would love to have some more esports stuff. So again, thanks for that, and those of you watching on their channel, I think their partner is Amazon. So, check out 12 ounces site. I think they have a coupon code or something like that. Um,
Yeah, they've got a coupon code for that and Zingo TV, which is a
that's right.
streaming service which we're actually on right now.
We are.
Yep.
So let me while we get yourself. Yeah, well, let's do a reverse grid. That will be a good idea. So let me do this.
Yes.
While everyone is just kind of sitting like on the stream. Let me do this.
Yep.
I don't
While
have
you do
anything
that,
up
I'm
on.
gonna see if some comments
Yeah,
came
I don't have
in
anything.
or
I don't
come
have
in.
anything up on the screen while we're trying to get stuff together. Let me pull this stuff back up here. So we're gonna do we're going to do a reverse grid. So now we're going to start another 5 lap race. This time, whoever won the last race is going to start in reverse, and whoever lost is going to start at the front. So now the people at the back have to try to make their way to the front. So that'll be fun. Um, Also, I want to take a little time to go over some kind of cool stuff that's happened. First of all, something that's a little different this season is Team Williams, which you were on, Cody, last season, is not represented in this season this year. Uh, that team has been replaced by Renault. So the teams that are racing is going to be BWT, and if it sounds familiar, folks, we've geared this entire thing around F1. We're just not using F1 cars, but it's
Yes.
BWT, Red Bull, Ferrari, Alfa Romeo, Mercedes, Haas, and Renault. And so that's where we're at now on Team BWT, which is those bright pink cars that you see on the street. Let's see if anybody's out there practicing, and I can get a good look at.
Looks like Joey Cannoli is and Jay Coda.
Yep, there we go. So there's Jay Coda's car, and so these are the BWT cars. Um, uh, they won the Constructor Series championship last season. Jay Coda was not on that team. There was a guy by the name of Vasco Francisco that was on that team with Joey Cannoli. Joey Cannoli has got the luck of the draw, and BWT kept him on the season, so that's pretty great. So he's back to give another shot at the championship. And Jay Coda, a new driver to RWB's Super Formula Series. So, I mean, for lack of a better term, a rookie to our series. So we'll see how he does. The next team that we have is Red Bull. Kwame here, he is new to the SF series. And he's just gonna try to do what he can to make things work. Where's his teammate Jack? There he is. There's the other Red Bull. Jack was on Red Bull last season, and he gets to remain, so he keeps his seat. His teammate, however, is J Rod, and is he here? I don't see him. He's not on? He's not in the room right now, so he may
He is
not
not
have
in
been
the
able to
room.
make it. Well, his teammate J Rod moved to Renault. So, that's to become the primary driver at Renault. And Ando, who you mentioned earlier, is his teammate on Renault. Vinny gets to keep his seat at Ferrari, where he was last season. And did he have 2 wins last season, or was it just 1? I forget.
Who's that?
Grasso, Vinny.
I think he had 2.
Yeah, I think he had 2 as well. And he's bringing with him a rookie to the SF series. Let's see, where is Vinny? He's got to be out on this track somewhere. There he is. He's coming out of the pits right now. So he was on Team Ferrari last week, and G-Bub, which is not in the room right now, is his teammate in Ferrari. So he's another driver making a debut there. I don't see anybody from Alfa Romeo here right now. Both team members are MIA, so maybe they'll show up a little bit later. We'll see how that goes. Let's see, and then here's Kittuation on Team Mercedes. He was your teammate last season.
He was, and he is a tuning genius.
Yep, he is. You know what? He's kind of like a real life George Russell. If any of you follow Formula One, a couple races before the end of Formula One this year, George Russell, who was on Team Williams, stepped up and filled in for Lewis Hamilton in the Mercedes car and was doing awesome. And until the pit crew screwed up everything for him. But now you've got a Williams driver in Kittuation moving up just like he did to try his hand at a Mercedes. So we'll see how that goes for him. And his guy is right here, Big Red, who's currently parked in the Barcelona curve. He's just trying to keep the tires, nice and cool, I guess. Big Red is another rookie to the Super Formula Series with us, so he is out there. And then there's, of course, you, our champion that was also on Williams, has moved to Team Haas. Are you out on the track? Let me go find your car. There's your car. There you are. There you are. So, Team Haas has you, and you've got a guy by the name of Supermix, which is right here in matching liveries. I like that. Those cars look awesome. Well, mostly matching. There's some minor differences, but you and Supermax on the same team, that ought to be fun. So that's the current champion, and Supermax is going to take seat number 2 there. You guys are the team to watch, that's for sure. No pressure. So that's
Yeah,
all. Sorry, go
it's
ahead.
funny people say that, but they need to realize there's going to be another team that's going to be just as fierce, and that's going to be Renault.
Yes, absolutely. Looking at just at practice, I'll tell you that BWT, Haas, Renault, Mercedes are all going to be great teams. I haven't got to see much. I do know that on Alpha, one of the drivers named Trology is actually my son, and he's going to be running a tribute livery of my stuff from Team Alpha, which I was on last season. His teammate, I just call him NX because it's a bunch of just letters, and I don't know what they mean yet, but he was laying down. He almost dropped a 136 in practice yesterday.
I mean,
So
126.
yeah, or 126. Yeah, he was right there. He was running 127s just like you and Jack and a few others. So there's some really fast drivers out there. So it's gonna be really interesting. All right, let's see. Let's get this thing going. It looks like the is everybody. Let me just make sure everybody's in. All right, are you ready to go? I'm gonna just
I
let
am.
everybody know. Here we go. All right. All right, folks, we're going to do another 5 laps. This time it's going to be in reverse. And let's get it started. I'll probably do most of the talking here since our boy Cody here is going to be driving. And remember, he goes by the handle RWB Cupcake on Team Hostel V in that
Yep.
one of those red cars. All right, let's see. All the cars are loading up on the track. Let's wait until I can get in there. Still loading up, folks.
A driver rating gang represent.
There we go. All right.
Sorry.
All right. Oh, look who's running up front. That's you. All right.
Yes, sir.
Let's see here. I'm going to get. For some reason, I cannot seem to get into there spectating. All right. Woohoo! Getting her done. So Kitchuation and Vinny and Jay Cotto. Vinny goes a little bit wide. Looks like, oh, off the track Vinny goes. That is going to cost him. And it looks like Kitchuation is all over Jack. That sounds familiar. Oh, and off goes Kwame in turn 4. You've got a gaggle of cars hunting you down, my friend.
Oh, I know.
Oh, Jack almost loses it. He saves it some. Oh, he's struggling. Oh, his car's everywhere. Oh, and he almost takes out the Mercedes of Kitchuation. Jay Cota now is hanging out back there. Let's see. So look at that. Haas 1-2 right now. But you got a Mercedes, a BWT, and a Red Bull, all looking to come take that from you. So. Yes, folks, it's hard to see all of the action all at once in these races. So be patient with me while I work it all out. My stuff is acting funny, so I apologize for that. Alright, well, my other camera died on me. I will sort that one out later, and let's just say here, so up front, we've got Cupcake's got 2.5 second gap already on his teammate. Super Mech's about a 1.5 second gap to third place. And Big Red's up to third. Joey Cannoli is not far behind, only just about a second. So the cars have pretty well stretched out through the top five. I love that Petronas livery. That looks nice, and those Haas cars look beautiful. How you feeling out there, my friend? Feeling good?
Yeah, I'm in the zone.
I can tell you're not saying things.
Well, you know, it's not as bad as me being angry.
That's true.
There we
127.2.
go.
That is the
There we
fastest
go.
lap time I have seen on this track thus far. No, well, in a race. In practice, I've seen it, but that's the fastest lap time in a race. Nice job. All right, so it looks like we don't have a lot going on. Let's find some battles. Looks like Kitchuation is still just kind of hanging out back there behind Jack. All the cars are pretty well spread out. Looks like everyone's just trying not to die. One of the things about the Series 2 is the cars have what's called heavy damage. For those of you that aren't familiar with e-racing, so if these cars get any damage to the engine or the wing or the tire, the suspension or anything like that, it won't repair itself. In order to get that fixed, they're going to have to go into the pits to get it repaired. They're going to be going into the pits plenty of times during the course of all of this. So, oh, I got my camera back. All right. Oh, right as Kwame is heading off this track. All right. So let's see. Let's take a look here. Let's ride on board with. Joey Cannoli looks like a good one to ride on board with because he's right there, right behind the Mercedes of Big Red. And look at those. This battle for second is not over by a long shot with a lap and 2/3 to go. Joey Cannoli only 3/10 back from Big Red, so he's got what he needs. He's right there. His tires are in great shape. Everybody's is. So let's see if Joey Cannoli can do something with this. Granted, Big Red's also thinking I could do something with this Super Mech's Haas character in front of me. Oh, Big Red goes really wide. He might get a penalty on that one. I don't think he got all four wheels. Nope, he survived that one. Wow, look at these. You could throw a blanket over all four of these cars. They're so close to each other. Okay, so Super Mex is bleeding off his penalty that he got. Look at this. All together, folks. Look at this. It's going to be a train down the front stretch. See those little blinking lights on the backs of the cars? That means that they're using their overtake. Their overtake is basically with these cars is kind of like DRS for Formula One, except it's more like nitrous oxide. And Joey looking inside. Oh, that was close. Jack gets by him and slams the door on him. Oh, Jack is coming. He is looking for that spot. But Joey says, I'm not done yet. But Joey's got some competition too, so he's not out of the woods yet. All right, so let's see. Going up here to the front is my co-commentator, who's quietly racing his car, listening to the words that I'm saying, and just in the zone. 7 seconds ahead. Look at that. That's awesome. Big Red all the way up to the bumper of Super Mex. And this is the last set of corners that he has a chance to pull that second place spot. He also has to make sure he doesn't lose that third place podium spot. And Cupcake comes across the line for the win in this practice session. And
Dang, I
oh,
almost hit a 126.
Supermix gets a little sideways, but they're going to come out of here with no problems. So that was a fun race. All right, Jake
That was
Coda
boring.
coming around. I think he went off the track a little earlier, but
I think he did.
what was your fastest time there? I'm gonna take a look.
127.125.
Wow! Now, did you use any overtake during that?
I absolutely did.
Okay. I was gonna say you're gonna have to. I don't know that you could do that if that's humanly possible without a little overtake or slipstream. But a nice job, man. That's a fast lap. 127.1. Woo! So, folks, that's 2 practice races. I think we have about 45 minutes of broadcast time left. We could probably do a race, or we could switch to a different track and do a couple Red Bull runs.
Well, let's let the racers decide.
All right, let's tell you what. You wanna pound out a message to them, and I'll do a little work here on the back end. So
Yep.
there's our results there. Let's see. Oh yes, everyone gets to see the great victory flag. Bum, bum, ba, ba. Look at that, holding the trophy. Nice pole, fastest lap, clean race. Congratulations, man. That was pretty great. That was a good,
Good
clean
stuff.
race.
All right.
So
So let me
anyway,
type this.
while you're talking with all of those folks, um, this Friday we're going to be holding qualifying. So I'm going to explain how qualifying works while you're messing around with everybody. Um, the What's going to happen on Friday night from 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern Time. I will be opening up a track, and drivers are going to be showing up. We'll be doing some interviews with them too. You'll get to hear their voices and talk with them and such. Um, the what's going to happen is that they get to come out on the track. Everyone's going to be in the same car, obviously. Everyone's going to be on the same tires. But the way, with video game wizardry, we can actually set it up so the cars won't spend any fuel and their tires won't wear out. So basically, uh, the 3 laps that they have, which is an out lap, which won't count towards their time, and then 2 hot laps, their tires and fuel will be the exact same through all of it. So everyone has the exact same advantage. The only difference will be the tuning that they've done to their cars, the suspension, the transmission, toe angle, shocks, and all that kind of stuff. They're going to get to come out and do what's called an out lap. So they'll come out of the pits and they'll race around the track. When they come across the start finish line, they will have 2 laps to set their fastest time. That will set the grid for our first race, which is here at Barcelona, and that will set the time. Every race after that will actually have the grid set based on the fastest lap times of each driver in the previous race. So after this Barcelona race, I will go through and look at the replay and see what is the fastest lap times each of the drivers had. That will set the grid by fastest to slowest on the next race. So that adds a whole nother level of strategy for these drivers. Let's say they get involved in an accident or whatever, and they're like, well, I'm not gonna be able to win this race, but maybe I go in when I have a low tank of fuel, throw on some soft tires, and get out there and run the fastest lap I possibly can so I can start better on the next race. So it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. Um, anyway, what are they saying, my friend? Are they
I'm not getting a lot of responses, so I'm just waiting on a couple more people to chime in.
okay? Yep, I see the responses there on the screen. So in any case, let's see. Let's check the social media feed while you're doing that. Looks like Gbub should be here in a little bit, so he might be on here momentarily. Let's see, we've got 7, 8, 9 drivers in the lobby, so that's not bad. That's almost all of them. So, take a minute just to say, folks, those of you that are watching, if you're into esports, um, then you probably know the same things that both Cody and I have noticed, especially through the pandemic. What a blessing it is to have a group of people. And I have to say, from the bottom of my heart, the RWB guys, I love them all. I mean, I don't know about you, Cody, but I don't know how I would have made it being stuck at home, going through all of this stuff of the pandemic without having some guys to hang out with, race with, chat with, talk with, goof around with. The camaraderie is great. Um, I really don't know how anybody could get through all of this without having help. I mean, I know some people are struggling, um, and some significantly more than others. As a matter of fact, I just heard in the last day or so, unfortunately, uh, a driver in another league felt like he couldn't make it anymore, and he's no longer with us, and it's really sad that there's
It
so
is.
many people out there struggling with that right now, and so it's nice for me, um, and I'm not saying I'm struggling that way. I'm just saying that it's nice that we have an outlet where we can talk with other people and be good friends. So if you're looking for some camaraderie like that, you're looking for a good group of guys that will teach you how to drive and have fun and hang out with, come visit us. rwbracing.com is our website. The links to all
Yep.
of our social media accounts are there. We have a private Facebook group. You can apply there, answer the questions that we lay out there, and you can come drive with us and come hang out with us. We'd love to have you.
Yep. Yep. And I do want to mention here our times. We do run Eastern and Central Coast. Um, Chris was saying how during the pandemic, I mean, this league has helped a lot of people. It's helped me out. I've been able to talk to people about some things outside of racing, and we all are just in full communication with each other, and it's great. Now, obviously there are other leagues out there. Um, Obviously, I want you guys to come over to RWB, whoever's watching. But if for some reason you run in Europe, South America, Asia, countries outside of the US, and you find a different league with guys and it'll help you during the pandemic, have at it.
Indeed, 100% agree with you.
Yep.
What's the consensus that you're seeing from the guys?
I'm seeing Red Bull, two Red Bull, one full sim, and one G-Bub.
And one G Dub. Well, you know
So I
what? Let's
say
go. Do
let's.
you want to do a full sim? I'd say we go to Red Bull. Let the viewers see the other track we're going to be racing on. What do you think?
You know what? I think that does sound like a good idea.
All right, let me go ahead and change that, folks. I'm gonna clear my screen out here really quick so you don't have to see me going through all this crazy stuff
Yep.
on my side. And once again, I just want to say, hey, thanks to Dave at Detailing Group for your sponsorship of our season this season. And those of you that know anybody, or excuse me, those of you that know anybody that are e-racers, bring them on by to us. If you know anybody that likes steel detailing better than racing, go talk to Dave. Detailinggroup.com. He's always looking for good talent. He's U.S. based, so he's looking primarily for people that are U.S. based so that the time zones match up. And if you want to know more about what they do, detailinggroup.com, and you can check them out. All right, all right. I got
Yeah. Now let me
Red
let me
Bull up
ask you
here.
something. What is detailing group?
It's funny that you should ask that. I have known, like I've known Dave since he started the company. Um, I always I have like an elevator pitch, so to speak, that I use. It may not be what he does, but if those folks that are watching the race, you see these buildings and structures and everything that you keep showing up, but uh, essentially, you got somebody has this great idea to build this big building that has all kinds of steel to hold it all up and make it stand and be put together and all that kind of stuff. And the somebody comes up with this really pretty drawing, then they get somebody to design how it's going to have to be put together so it doesn't fall down, and then they decide, okay, we want to build this thing, we need to get all the steel that's in it made and put together. And so these steel fabricators reach out to companies like Detailing Group, who is probably the premier detailer in the country. um, and and I'm not just saying that. I'm just saying, knowing what I know about the company and the awards that they've received from places. But the fabricators reach out to groups like Detailing Group and say, "Hey, we got this job, and there's all this metal that needs to get put in there." And so what happens is guys like Detailing Group get all the drawings of all the steel and concrete and things like that that are going to go into this structure. And basically they rebuild the entire building in, it looks like AutoCAD, the wireframe modeling. But they go through every single quote detail of the drawing, every joint, weld, bolt, and all the stuff that makes all the steel go together. And they make sure that it meets minimum tolerances so that the steel fabricators can build these pieces of metal in the factory, assemble some of it there, and then bring the rest of it out to the job site to be built. And that's how steel structures are kind of designed and put together. And so I think they go. I think the tolerance is like 1/16 of an inch that they have to get to keep these buildings from falling down. So there's a lot that they have to do. Um, as a matter of fact, they do like this new stuff now called laser point clouds. So they can go out into like the out in the field where the building's gonna be, and they can like do 3D modeling of the area to make uh, all of the stuff work together. And then on top of that, they can take the drawings that a detailing group does and feed those drawings digitally to the manufacturer of the steel, and it can just input it right into the CNC machines to cut all the pieces. So I mean, it saves so much time and energy and work to do these 3D modelings, and I'll find out more. I'm pretty sure there's a way to actually use that VR, virtual reality, or what do they call it when it's not all virtual, but it's like assisted reality or something, where you like
I believe so.
it's something like that. So basically, they can walk out into the area, put these goggles on, and see the building as it would stand while it's there, and walk around it and do some cool stuff like that. So anyway, that's part of what Detailing Group does. I'll have more information as time goes on. But anyway, there we go. So thanks, Dave, for sponsoring us this season. And if any of you know any steel detailers, have them come check them out. All right, that's enough of that. Let's see. We should probably get this thing going. It looks like everybody's about ready, right? Let me send out a little message. We're gonna start soon here. We're gonna do another 5 lapper. Oh, you know what? I better go change the amount of laps before I start this one. So let me go change that really quick, folks. Oh, I got it down to 6 laps. Perfect. Okay. All right. Is everybody on track? Actually, let's take a look. We're waiting on Kituation. Are you going to race this one or are you going to watch?
I'm gonna watch. I want to observe.
All right. Well, then here we go. Looks like everybody's out there. Let me just send one more message just to make sure they know. Looks like everybody's in there. So start race. Here we go. All right. So we shall see how people handle Red Bull Ring. This will be race number 2 on the first night of racing. Red Bull Ring, turn 2, which I guess is technically turn 3,
Oh,
but it's the sharp, sharp right-hander at the end of that long straight that you folks see there on your screen. That is the make it or break it corner, in my opinion. The so much hard braking all the way down into first gear on these corners. It's going to be a wild ride, and you'll see as these guys get started. See, I'm waiting
yep.
for
Now I did
my.
get a comment here from the sponsor, David Ball. He did say it's called augmented reality.
There we go.
Yep.
All right,
Thanks
here
for the
we
correction
go.
there, David.
Thanks, bud. All right, so
Whoa, teammates fighting.
yeah, look at. Oh, who's that
People
that goes around?
spinning, Kwame.
Jack goes around. That wasn't
Now
Jack.
we
That was
got three
Kwame.
wide. Hold on, three wide between Mex, Big Red, and J Coda.
Oh, look at
Nope,
that.
separated a little bit.
Yes, they did.
And this is
Wow,
the
that's
turn that will
insane.
wreck people.
Let's see if we can't get
And J
my
Coda
cameras going.
gets into the grass.
Ah, look at that front. Gee, Bub. We've got
Yep,
the 2 Ferraris up front. Nice. It looks like is that Joey Cannoli that is making a move there on Supermax. He's looking for a spot there. Let's take a ride on board with Joey Cannoli and see how he does there. Vinny still all over his teammate Jack right behind him now. Here we go. Jack is making his move. Let's see what he does here. He's going inside on the overtake. It's about the brakes. Oh, look at that. Vinny just slams the door on him and makes him work for it. Oh, and Jack loses some
that's good
momentum, and
stuff.
that's going to bring Supermex up. Here's that braking corner. All kinds of braking happening right there. Oh, up here we got Supermax all over Jack. Oh, look at that. He's just trying to get around him. Let's just keep an eye on Supermax here. I got him multiple views here trying to see what we can see. Oh, is he making his move? He's making his move. And he gets by Jack into the final corner. Just can he stay in there?
Wow.
Oh, he goes
No, he
wide.
went way too wide.
Yeah, and that's messed up his second corner. Jack should get by him here. Oh, except Jack gets a little loose too. He didn't get a penalty for that. That was interesting. That he went that wide
That
and
was.
nothing. All right, so let's see. Let's go take a look up front here. Let's see. So G-Bub got almost a full second on his teammate. Not enough to break the slipstream, so then he's still there to be able to he can stay in that 1 second mark. That's the sweet spot in these cars. About you get past the 1 second mark and you're gonna lose that slipstream. So G-Bub is just there to almost break that toe. So he's just got to keep working on that. Supermex, meanwhile, he's being hunted. He's being hunted something fierce. Oh, a little bit of lag there.
Yeah, I saw that. Jack's getting a little bit janky there. It looks like his internet's starting to crash a little bit.
Oh,
But you know, he's not
there's the
let that
move.
slow him down.
There's the move.
Easily overtakes freaking Supermex for third position.
Yep. It's like the rest of the group is kind of split out. Joey Canola's in the pit. He must have hit something and got some damage because there's no need for tires this early. Let's see, how is the front guys doing? Still, G-Bub cannot get away from Vinny. He is just staying right there with him. Now, I don't know if this is team orders, if they're working together, or if G-Bub's trying to pull away from him. He's almost to that second mark. And there it is. He finally got his second. Now, if Vinny is going to have some cleaner air, he might be able to bring that back up. So we'll see what happens there. Meanwhile, Jack still, he's kind of broken. He's broken away from Supermax a bit, a little over half a second.
Yep, but at the same time, he is running the fastest lap of the race so far, so I imagine he's going to be in the mid 114s, maybe low 114s. Let's take a look here.
Wow.
Higher 114s. So he's at a 114.8. G-Bub, meanwhile, comes into the room, has no time to practice, and look where he's at.
Yep. He's just moving.
I love it.
Well, while he's doing that, we'll keep an eye on him as he's running around up front. His teammate is close back into the 1 second mark, so he's just right there in biting distance, and Jack is closing up as well. He's down to about 0.6 behind Vinny. Now, folks might be looking at this going, well, an eighth of a second, that's nothing. It is everything in these cars. A second's like an eternity to try to make up on somebody, right? Like, you lose, if you lose a tenth a lap at a 10-lap race, you're a second behind, and that doesn't seem like a lot, right? But in auto racing, it's everything, because these cars, and if we look, let's just look at Vinny right now. All of his last 3 laps were within 0.7 of a second difference of 3 laps. That is the consistency that these drivers are running at, where they're hitting every braking marker, every corner, everything to be that much quicker or slower each lap. And Mr. Consistency isn't here right now, and that would be J-Rod. He is Mr. Consistency, to say the very least. And you see this guy's times, and I've seen him race 10 laps in a car and be within a half a second on every lap. So you're the same way too, actually. I've seen you pull off some lap times that are just like, wait a minute, did he just do the exact same lap time as the one before?
Yeah.
All right, G-Bub coming around.
Yep, coming around. First place.
Nice. The rest of the guys rolling through. Good job, G-Bub. Nice job. So,
yeah, consistency is key when it comes to racing. I mean, they're old, well, I wouldn't say old, but one of our dear members, Francisco, he always told us he's never a qualifier, he's a racer. So I've taken that to heart, because I mean, you could sit here and set the fastest lap, like say you could set a 113 at this track and still not win the race, because your times are all over the place. You could run a 113, then a 116, and then go down to 114, and you're kind of you're putting yourself in a bad situation.
Indeed.
So you always want to try to keep consistent.
Indeed. All right. Well, that was a fun little sprint race there, and we might even have time for a little bit more. But that kind of kept everybody close together for a bit, made for some pretty exciting laps.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now we gotta wait and let G-Bub's wind come up here on the stream. That's always nice to be able to see that. So as soon as the timer runs out, oh yeah, the timer's got to run out. Kitchuation is in the pits. Not sure what's going on there, but
I'm not either.
he pit on at the end of lap 3 or the end of lap 4, and got stuck in there. There we go. So he must have had a challenge with the car. So, in any case, way to go. There's a victory for G-Bub. 6 laps at Red Bull. Good job, bud. Pole position holds it all the way through. All right. That was fun. So, this will be a lot more exciting, folks, when race day comes along, just so you know. We will have these guys fighting for points. Right now, of course, this is practice. So we got to keep that in mind. We're doing short little sprints just to let these guys get on the track and drive around each other, get used to who's braking, how certain people approach corners and things. We do a lot of practice at RWB to make sure that we can all drive safely. Like I said, heavy damage is on for these cars, right? And the last thing anybody wants to do is damage their car and have to pit, because that is the end of your race. You can't really come back from that unless everybody else has the same problem, right? So, all right, we're gonna do another one of these, my friend. But you got to get out on that track and see if you can't challenge G-Bub, right?
Oh yes.
Oh yes, he
Let's
says.
have some fun. Let's have some fun.
I'm gonna do one more time. Oh,
Yep,
I
looks
spelled
like we
that
do have
wrong.
enough time for one more. Yeah.
One or more time.
Owner. Owner. Sir, that is Ohio slang.
Is that what it is?
No. Just felt like saying that.
Okay. Let me go here, and it's reverse grid, so now he'll have to start at the back, so that's good. And Supermech says hold. Okay. Let me just tell him okay. Give these guys a chance to take a quick break. Uh, give
Yep.
us a chance to say thank you again to 12 Ounce Sports. Thanks for having us on. I hope those of you watching over there are enjoying yourself and are getting psyched up for the races coming up. I know all of us are, and make sure you check them out. They got a lot of sports programming, uh, various types of things. Soccer, football, real life sports, not esports like what we're doing. Um, but they have lots of other stuff that they do. I think they even have like yoga stuff. If I remembered seeing something on the schedule about that. So there should be details in the description. If I forgot, I apologize. We kind of did a hurry up to get this one together for tonight, but we'll have more stuff later on. Um, but yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for having us by, and I know they need people to come visit some of their sponsors, so go check them out. I know they got Amazon there that um, they work with, so take care of them there. The rest of you, anybody
Yep.
watching on social media, hit us up with some comments. We'd love to hear from you and get your input. What would you like to see in a race, and what would you like to see done in our commentary? Let's
Yep.
see
So it looks
now.
like everybody's about ready.
All right, Supermax ready? Supermax ready? Oh, he is
Yep.
ready. All right, here we go.
Cool. Now I
Good
get to
luck, my
start in
friend.
front again. What the heck?
Did you say you get to start in front again?
Yup. But I'm gonna rock a different livery here.
Are you now?
I figure this one will be fitting.
There you go. Oh, is that the? I can't see it yet. Is that an RWB livery?
Yep, that is the RWB livery.
Red, white, and blue livery. There you go. Well, you know what? I realize already that I kind of messed up our stream a little bit because it says it's qualifying, which it's not. But all right, into turn one. Kitchuation gets ahead of Cupcake. The two BWTs side by side. Oh, they get a little bumbled up there. J Coda gets a little stuck in the weeds there. Two Red Bulls side by side. Oh, that looks awesome. I like those Red Bull liveries. Look at all these cars. Oops. Just coming through Haas. All these red cars and blue cars. Oh, into the corner. Kwame holds the inside. Nicely done. Everyone's still kind of bundled up back there. It is the first lap after all. Kitchuation still running around in first position there. But he's got somebody following him behind. Somebody sweet and tasty. Oh, Joey gets a little sideways. Look at this battle going on. There's so much happening right here. Let's get to oh, my stuff is not working right. All right. Supermex is in a Red Bull sandwich right now. And hitting his overtake to try to get out of there. Oh, and he gets a little bit nudged over by Kwame, kind of gets him out to the outside. And I gotta get my spectating goggles back on here. Here we go. The G-Bub, he's got, whoa, he gets tapped from behind by Big Red, but he survives it. All right. Let's see, here we go. Kwame following Supermex nice and close. This is going pretty good here. And oh, you know what? I missed it. You didn't even say you got past the guy. So Cupcake up to first. He's going to set some pretty blistering lap times, is my guess. Well, I see what happened. I lost a piece of equipment, folks, but I can still make this all happen. So that's why we do practice. So we don't have a lot. Oh, wait a minute. Here we go. Looks like G-Bub. Oh, gets a little nudge by his teammate, but he comes out of it all right. So that's our last race winner, and he's got to work his way up from the back, and he's having a really tough time getting that done. Oh, wow. Kwame locks him up, but stays on the course. That was close. Looks like Cupcake is getting along nicely up there. Kitchen's not letting him get too far away. About a second and a half, which, like I mentioned earlier, is kind of like an eternity. Let's take a look here. We'll keep an eye on third place because third place is getting pretty busy. Kwame under attack. Let's look back and see with this in this corner. Okay, G-Bub dives inside. Oh, Kwame goes really wide. Oh, he almost loses it in front of everybody. Oh, that was close. Oh, that was close. Vinny takes advantage and gets a twofer. He gets around Kwame and G-Bub. And now he's got his sights set on Jack. G-Bub, meanwhile, is still there to harass Vinny. So there they are, the Ferraris once again. This time in reverse order from the last race. Meanwhile, Joey Cannoli there in the bottom of your screen, he seems to have pulled away from Supermax a bit, and he's slowly, ever so slowly, catching up to Kituation. About 3 seconds behind as G-Bub just saves it. About 3 seconds back, he might be able to reel him in, but he's only got a couple laps left to go, so I'm not sure that that's going to happen. And G-Bub into the pits because he's got front end damage. So Big Red's, he's got some rear end damage, but he's okay. His motor's not bad, so he should be all right. Or Kwame rather. Big Red is looking okay. Let's see, how's our number one guy doing? Just seems to be driving around like there's nobody else there with you. Feeling comfortable, I see.
Oh yeah.
That is about as red, white, and blue as red, white, and blue can get. Let's see, Kituation in the Mercedes, about three and a half seconds back. Joey's got Supermax closing the gap up a little bit. So it's interesting to see. Let's, sorry folks, let me switch cameras. Let's ride on board with Joey here.
There we go, that's what I wanted.
What'd you turn? What kind of lap time?
113.7.
Whoa.
But take a look at my lap times and how consistent they are.
Let's go take a look there. Let's see. Oops. Let's see, that's 113, 114, 114, 114. Yeah, that looks pretty consistent. That's basically, what, 4 laps within 0.8 of a second each lap? The difference? Not bad, my friend.
Yep.
Not bad. That's how you get it done. Mr. Consistency there. Joey looks like he's doing okay as far as things go. Kituation is on his last lap, so as long as he holds it together, he should be able to get second place. Now, this will be really interesting when these races get into, I think this one is 23 laps. The final will be. So, you know, with the pit strategies and fuel strategies and all of that, it's going to be interesting. Yep, there we go. Nice job, Big Red. That's the other thing too, is you gotta, in this series, you have to bleed off those penalties before you cross the line. So the other thing we do in RWB, for a lot of the people following here, think, well, that's just a video game. People are going to crash into each other and just to get the spot back. And that's not how we do it out here. Oh, J Coda in the sand. The way that we do it at RWB is we, if we're responsible for causing any kind of an incident to somebody else, then that's, you know, our way of giving back is we have to, and it's required or you're penalized for it, you have to slow down and allow the person that you caused an incident to regain their position and to get past you. And that is your penalty for doing that, for ruining their race. So it makes it for a lot cleaner racing, and also just plain nice. You know, keeps people more honest. As J Coda limps his broken car across the line, he's got a busted engine in the rear end of his car, and there we go. So that's how we roll here at RWB, folks. I hope you enjoyed this. We got to end our stream here in about 9 minutes. Make room for whoever's coming next here at 12 ounce. So I want to thank everybody for coming on by. Cupcake, thanks for joining me, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, not a problem. Thanks for having me on. It was excuse me. It was a lot of fun streaming and co-commentating with you.
It's always a good time, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
All right.
all
Well,
day,
folks.
every day.
All right, folks. Well, Cupcake, you hang out here with me. I'm gonna go ahead and let the stream end, and I'll be right back to you, folks. Thanks a lot for coming, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yep. Thank you guys.
Oop, I got the wrong. Sorry, I got the wrong thing on here. Whoops. Hold on. Where's my stuff? See, this is why. This is why I try to do all this stuff. Here we go.
It is Wednesday, my dudes. It is Wednesday, my dudes. Wednesday, my dudes.
And welcome into We Talk Sports Gear. We are here, and it is going to be the duo here of Randall and I tonight. And it is playoff football season all around, so
Heck yeah, it is.
we are covering all aspects there. Semifinal college football will kick it off, Heisman Trophy. Then we'll as well get into Week 17, and then the upcoming NFL playoffs as we have the first year of the new format. Now with the extra wildcard team and only one team getting a bye, so the road to Tampa Bay for the Super Bowl coming up in February. So, like I said, all football show, but of course, we got NBA action going on tonight. We tried to go all in, thinking, what was it, 10-team?
Yeah, it was 10 10 bet slip on a
Jeez,
parlay,
I
and
just saw the score of the Sixers Wizards.
yep. My bad, guys. I lost everybody a little bit of money tonight. That's my bad.
Bradley beat 60
well-
points.
We'll recover this weekend. Don't worry.
Yeah.
We will recover this weekend.
But shout out Bradley Beal, 60 or it keeps going back. Nope, 60. 7 for 10 for 3.
Yeah.
20 for 35 shooting.
Yep. And they're still currently losing, correct?
Yep, game over. Sixers won,
Yeah.
141 to 136.
Yeah, that sucks. That sucks when you play that kind of game and nobody else can help you. But
Yeah.
Washington really hadn't looked as bad. I mean, I guess bad is the wrong word, but I thought they were going to be even worse than they are right now. Like, to start the season. I thought to start the season it was going to be really, like, maybe still 0 for rough. But, they had a really bad stretch there for a little bit, but I think they're going to look a little bit better here soon. But I don't know. I thought they might still be like 0 for something really bad like that. But, hadn't been as bad.
Well, then we'll kick back into football because that is, as we, like you said, we'll make it up because we are going for football this weekend. But we had the semifinal game just happened on Friday. We'll have the national championship coming up on the 11th. And it is the 1 versus 3 Alabama Ohio State, obviously there. But we're going to
Got those right, by the way.
Yeah.
You called that.
Yeah.
I got the Ohio State upset. Proud of us.
I said I would have taken the plus points. I was asked. I said I will definitely take. Well, I would have guessed the both underdogs to take the points, not the win, because I knew. We'll just kick it off with the obvious easy game of Alabama Notre Dame. This was the exact game I thought Alabama would have. They did just enough, and then they could just kind of cruise the rest of the way. They knew they were going to win. They weren't going to, risk any injuries for Notre Dame. And then the nice backdoor cover for Notre Dame at the end.
Yeah.
With 56 seconds left, literally at the end.
Yep.
So when you start with the biggest spread in college football playoffs at 18.5, it's a little steep just because when you're up that much, you don't really have anything to prove. So just back off a little.
Yeah. With that Notre Dame and Alabama game, my boss actually said something funny today that A, hurt my feelings, and B, is kind of true. He was like, "So we're gonna act like Book's not just Sam Ellinger on a better team, right?"
Oh.
And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Yeah, that's what he is. He's just Sam, but on Notre Dame." And I was like, "Oh." You're probably right.
Yeah.
It's like, that's probably right. That feels right. Like that
I
doesn't.
never thought of it like that, but
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of like Ian. Probably Ian runs a little less than Sam, and they run a little bit differently. But like,
yeah.
yeah, that's about it. That's about it. Sadly, they just have a better team around them, and they play lesser opponents. Except for the Clemson game this year, but
Yeah, that's why I still don't see they're like, oh yeah, Ian Book will make a team and fight for a starting spot. It's like,
No.
no,
He won't.
Just like I knew I had mentioned, but when they tried to force him into the Heisman conversation, and instead of showing any of his stats, they just put he's won 9 games this year or 10 whatever it was at that point when they tried to force him in. They showed all these guys stats and touchdowns, and they said Ian Book 10 wins. Like that's not going to win you a Heisman.
That doesn't. Yeah, that's not how that works. Well, whatever. I mean, honestly, Smith is just.
He deserved it.
He deserved it. He deserved it. The thing that cracks me up is all the pictures people are putting up of him like on the sideline and stuff, where it's like he looks like a child. Like, he looks like a child, and this dude just won the Heisman, and it's incredible. And after this Heisman win and the assumption that honestly, I feel like it might, at this point, with him winning the Heisman and him having this season, it might actually benefit him not to run at the Combine.
Yeah.
Because if he hits a number that's less than what people think, it's just going to hurt him. Opposed to, like, I feel like his stock is probably as high as it can be at this point, unless he ran a 4.3.
Yeah, I've seen
flat,
him
basically.
right by Jamar Chase now, like in a few mock drafts. It's those two are like, I mean, they have a few where they go back to back. So
yeah, I feel like doing some of the combine stuff, maybe minus the actual field work, is probably. I don't think it could help him anymore because there's certain people that are just going to go before him because there's quarterbacks that are just going to go before him.
Yeah.
That's how it is. And, I feel like even if he ran a 4.3 or 4.29 or whatever he runs, we have no idea. We just know it's freaking fast.
Yeah.
But whatever he runs, I don't think that's necessarily going to put him under or over you literally just said his name, and I'm blanking on his name.
Chase.
Yeah, Jamar Chase. Like, I feel like whoever's picking that, they're just going to have a preference on what type of receiver they want.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the difference. So I think he might as well just not run. To me, that I would think that. But then, of course, there's the competitiveness and the pride that I'm sure is on the line for him. So
I would say the counter on that, though, is if he does run a not as great 48,
yeah,
he has the ability, the fact that Alabama receivers are successful in the NFL.
Yeah, but he has that either way.
Exactly. So I don't see it hurting him at all. And then
I can see it hurt.
If he finds out he's faster, it's only going to help. I don't see it hurting because it's like, well, you know what? He's a little slower, but look at what all the Alabama receivers do. We'll take him even if he's a little slower than we thought.
Oh, see, I think it's the flip. I think it can only hurt him because if he doesn't run as fast, that's going to be a hit on him, right? And then if he does run as fast, we already expect him to run really fast. Everyone's seen him play. We know how fast he is. So the expectation for him to run really fast is going to be there. I mean, don't you think it's got to be in the 4.3 range?
I don't know.
I mean,
I guess I just still think of him. I mean, I know he still does, he can blow by the defender, but when you look at the team, you think of him as the route runner and Waddle as the deep threat. So if he's not the
Yeah, but I
fastest
think
guy,
they're both 4-3 guys.
I don't know. I guess I don't.
You think Smith might be a 4-4?
I guess it
There's
doesn't
no
bother
way
me.
he's a 4-5. There's no way.
I guess it just doesn't bother me because of how his route running is.
That's fair. I mean, that's fair. Yeah. But I'm wondering what Jones's draft stock is doing at this point, because I haven't really been studying the. I don't want to sound like a jerk, Dom, but my team's still in the playoffs, so I
Yeah.
haven't really been looking at the draft lately.
You're not already in that mode yet.
No, I've actually not looked at a single mock draft. I've only looked at some rankings of players, but I haven't looked at a mock draft. But I'm not 100% sure where Jones is at this point, but is he in that right after Zach Wilson?
Man, he is all over the place. I think
Okay.
I don't think everyone's really just like figured out exactly what they
What to do with him?
Yeah, with him or Trask. I think both those two, everyone is just still confused on what to do exactly.
Yeah.
Both those two, because I don't know. They both are probably the most beneficial with the weapons of their team.
Oh, absolutely.
And then you look at it and go, well, what would they do on a normal team? But you also can't do that because Joe Burrow was surrounded by the best cast that you could probably ask for.
Yeah, minus an O-line.
Yeah, but he didn't have to because he had 3 NFL caliber receivers.
Yeah, and that's something that I would throw out there with Jones is Alabama's O-line is always so good that we haven't seen what he can do, what he does necessarily under pressure that often. So, but especially having that such a good running game with Najee Harris, that a lot of pressure is taken off of him with pass rush. And if we're talking about him getting drafted somewhat high, then you're talking about a team that most likely is not going to be able to protect him as well as Alabama's O-line did in college football. So it would be interesting to see. But I think he'll probably be in that range for some of those teams that just missed the playoffs or made it to the playoffs and kind of had an early exit. I would go ahead.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. I think both Jones and Trask. I think my thought right now, obviously
one of those is Steelers bound.
I was going to say one of those two Steelers bound, and then the other a similar situation like you just mentioned, a team that just missed it, or a team that maybe gets out early and they're like, yeah, we do need to probably grab someone soon.
Right.
We might need it. Or, they both could work if they step into a good situation. They aren't going to be at top 10. They're going to change your team for the future. Like you have the expectation for Lawrence, Fields, Wilson, the mystery of Trey Lance.
Yeah. You know what?
The highest, I'll say this before, one more. I guess the highest picking team, which I don't know if they'll take him in the first round, that could take one of the Trask or Mac Jones would be a 49ers, because they're picking high, but it wasn't more of the talent, it's the situation of injuries, which I feel like would be a team more willing to go with try to get a veteran quarterback in the trade market versus one of those two. But I could see a small possibility if they stick with Garoppolo, maybe they try to grab one of those later because he's always getting hurt / maybe they aren't sold on him.
Right. And I don't know, I'm doing a quick search real quick. I don't know exactly how many quarterbacks have been taken in the first round, what the record is on that. I want to say, was it the let's see.
I can pull that up.
Yeah, go ahead and look that up while I'm talking. But I don't know how many it is.
Round, right? You're looking for.
Yeah, just the first round. But this feels like a year that could break the record of first round quarterbacks taken, because there's so many teams. Because we're talking about, think about how many teams in the playoffs are going to be looking for quarterbacks. You've got the Steelers, who definitely need to draft one this year. You've got the Pats, who are probably going to draft one. Well, they're not in the playoffs. Sorry, force of habit there. But you've got the Colts, who are probably going to have to draft a quarterback because it appears that they don't care about going with Brissett at all. Washington, the Bucks are going to have to get a quarterback. Saints probably won't, but there's a possibility they do. Bears possibly, depending on what they want to do with Trubisky. There's a ton of these teams that need quarterbacks, and I feel like, don't you feel like 6 of them could possibly go in the first round?
That's what, yeah, I want to say, like, oh, no, they won't all go in the first round, but then, well, there's a lot of teams that could need it, and are you going to wait and, not at this point? Because, everyone's selling on quarterbacks faster now.
Yeah, because you go Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Ohio State, Fields, Lance, Trask, Jones. That's 6 right there.
Yeah.
And then you're looking at past that, it's I'm trying to think who else is coming out.
Sam.
No, Sam's going in the 6th round, if that. Shane's there somewhere. What he does in the combine will be interesting. If I was Shane, I would stay.
Yeah.
I think if Shane stayed another year and came out next year, he could look kind of good compared to some of the prospects coming out next season.
Yeah, especially with this one being so top heavy, you might as well.
Yeah.
If you're not in that top, you might as well just take another year.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, I feel like easily 6 of them could go.
Don't forget about. I don't know where he's going to go. I completely forgot. Jamie Newman. He sat out this year to prepare for the draft.
Oh, yeah, totally. Oh gosh, that's a complete wild card. There's no telling. He could end up being the steal of the draft. Who knows?
Yeah.
But there's so many guys that could end up going in that first round. Were you able to find the?
So 5 has happened a few times. I have not found 6.
Okay, so
and 5 happened in 2018 when we had Baker, Sam, Allen, Rosen, Lamar.
Yeah.
And then 5 before that, though, that's why I think there was it felt like there might be another one. There was 99 was the last time 5 happened. Tim Couch, Donovan McNabb, Achilles Smith, Dante Culpepper, and Cade McNown.
Wow.
And there was another 5 that I think it was the Jim Kelly draft. I didn't find a 6. So, yeah, if 6 happens, I believe that would be a record.
I don't know about you, but
there's the other 5. Oh wait, nope, that was 6. 83, there you go.
In 83 there were 6.
John Elway, Todd Blackledge, Jim Kelly, Tony Eason, Ken O'Brien, and Dan Marino. Pretty good one to compare to.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I'm just trying to think if we forgot anybody. So Lawrence, Fields, Lance, Wilson. That's 4. Then Trask.
Jones and Trask, yep.
And then Mac Jones. That's 6. Newman, 7. I guess next would be what? Purdy, if he comes out, or Mond. Did he already announce that he's staying?
I know Purdy's staying. I think Mond's is not going back.
Tanner Morgan is interesting because some people really like him, right?
I would think he would stay. He did nothing to help himself.
Okay. He had like a weird draft rise there for a little bit though, didn't he?
Before, but then this year was just such a mess because they were never really playing and Minnesota was never at full health.
Yeah.
I think I've seen, and I don't know if he's going into the draft, it's the Cincinnati quarterback. Riddle?
Yeah.
I've seen him pop up on some people's interest. I don't know. But yeah, then I guess really, after those 6.
It does kind of drop off
Yeah,
after that.
Jamie's the kind of wild card, and then you're really just kind of taking a shot with Mond, Ellinger, those kind of guys.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I guess we should move on to the Ohio State Clemson game.
So
Sorry,
Ohio
that
State
we
Clemson
really, yeah, we really kind of went off on a tangent
as you
there.
mentioned, the quarterbacks, though, we'll just move right into that. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to take away anything from Justin Fields.
Right.
I just will say it second. Crazy thing is, a 49-28 Ohio State win. We forget Lawrence threw for 400 yards in that game still.
Yeah, totally.
Because Justin Fields went 22 for 28, 385, and hit 6 incompletions and 6 touchdown passes.
Hurt. He did all that hurt.
Yeah.
He got hurt in what, the second quarter?
Yeah, it was still early.
Yeah. So and it wasn't like he was kind of like, you could tell he was in pain the entire game. So yeah, I mean, I think he closed the gap a little bit.
Yeah, I was just saying, I think it's that kind of we were buying the other hype and kind of, don't want to say forgot his talent, but was, I guess, using the Ohio State QB bias because he's not the same quarterback. It's not really fair to hold him to what Braxton Miller or JT Barrett, because they weren't like
Cardell.
Yeah, Cardell, like, he's not any of those guys.
No.
He's never showed those kind of like QB traits. Like, those guys all had like, yeah, they're not. Cardell had the arm, but like no one really saw him as a top QB. Justin Fields has been that since Georgia. Everyone knew he could be that.
Right.
This is very different.
Yeah, and if the Jets go Zach Wilson over him, I think I'll be shocked. I really do.
I think it was just the hype of the highlights.
For Zach Wilson?
Yes.
That's probably
because
fair.
They had a full game, they had a full schedule, and he really hit his stride. I mean, that's the difference too. I think is the difference of he hit his full stride this year. We've seen Justin Fields, put on a show before.
Yeah.
So I mean, Wilson. I mean, he showed the flashes last year, but this was a big step. He put the progressions all together, so we hadn't seen that kind of season for him. So it kind of maybe caught people by surprise, but he had a 11-game, 12-game season that they have. So we saw more of it. We saw more highlights of him. You didn't see this last year, or you just didn't see a lot of BYU highlights last year. So this was all new. You saw Justin Fields play really well. You saw him play at the top level. This was just a new person thrown in, and look at, he's running around making these crazy throws and just kind of jumping on that hype. As much as I still think he will be good, but like I said, it's a new shiny toy that people wanted.
Yeah. Kind of going back to that Ohio State Clemson game too. I missed it, but did head coach's handshake?
I did not pay attention on that end.
Okay.
I'm sure they did.
Yeah. That was the big reason I picked Ohio State, because, like, man, Dabo, keep your mouth shut.
Oh yeah.
It was that and the fact that OC was out.
True.
Tony Elliott was out. So, which, by the way, wish he would have been the pick for Texas, but extremely excited about Sark. I was really glad, by the way. We'll try to touch on that a little bit later, I guess. But but yeah, I mean, Ohio State just played the perfect game. I feel like Fields, this was the best game of his career by far, hitting on all cylinders. Maybe not the most flashy game, but I felt like he was the most accurate, and he played a big game when he needed to. And I kind of have a feeling he's going to do that again next week.
Yeah.
Or not next week, this Monday. But I still don't know if that's enough, just because of how good Alabama is.
True. Yeah, I mean, yeah, going in, I know a couple people asked, like, well, what's my picks? Because, I mean, I can't remember, if I had said. So I was like, well, going before, I'm like, Alabama's going to win big, like I said. Probably won't cover the spread because they're going to back off. I see this. Well, I guess I was wrong in the sense I saw it as a close game. I was like, give me the Ohio State plus the points, whatever the points are, it's going to be close. I was wrong on that end, but I didn't
Yeah.
see the. Oh yeah, the Clemson's just this way better team that we saw. The ACC didn't do anything in bowl games, so granted, I
Yeah.
know a lot of teams also chose not to play before even the bowl picks, but the ACC is a solid conference, but it was very top heavy. I mean, what was our third best team? Is well, I guess it would be North Carolina, not Miami, but
Yeah, North Carolina.
I mean, and we didn't get to see a true North Carolina because I guess they just didn't care, like the SEC. It just was they didn't really want to be there. So,
Ugh.
but I mean, this was still a good. I mean, people like to make fun of the Big Ten, but they still have good teams. It's not like we're the Pac-12. That's a conference you can make fun of. But
Yeah.
you still have the Ohio. I mean, look, Trey Sermon's hit his stride.
Oof. He looks like a bad man out there.
Michigan State 10 for 112 and a touchdown. Then Northwestern 29 for 331 and 2 touchdowns, and 31 for 193 and a touchdown. And
Yeah.
apparently, I didn't know. I saw some of this. Is apparently you guys have the former Oklahoma running backs coach who apparently ran Trey Sermon out of OU. Saw a little of
I
that
guess.
pop up. Baker was like trash talking the running backs coach, and apparently a few other former OU players were too. So apparently, I didn't realize there was something happened there, but that's apparently why he left OU there.
Oh well, it'll be fine.
Yeah, but what I guess someone I want to say, I think raised stock. Not saying he wasn't going to be a solid pick, but do you think that helped Chris Olave?
I don't know. I'm not really sure. I haven't paid enough attention to. I don't know where he was going beforehand.
I mean, I've seen him second round was like second round was pretty common.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's gonna get to the first. I mean, well, he could if depending on what he does versus Alabama, but I mean,
What's his measurement? Like, is he around 6'3" or is he a little bit shorter?
6'1".
6'1". That's not bad. He what?
He'll be interested in what his 40 is.
Yeah. I don't know. That obviously the 40 will help a lot because if he runs anywhere under a 4.45, the Raiders will pick him at 2, or they'll probably like move up to the first pick somehow and pick him, but because that's what they do. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really know much about the receiver class this year other than like the top guys, which is sad because I should, because the Saints are, unless they go quarterback, I imagine we'll be probably getting a wide receiver at some point. But yeah, I don't know. I definitely think Sermon helped his case, and Travis Etienne did not probably help his case. Although he's
such a boomer bust guy. I think that was already, you kind of know that about him. He's going to give you the nothing 50-yard run.
Yeah, which I think if he can prove he's a reliable, like a really good in the pass game at that he'll still be worthwhile. But the running back class will be interesting to me because, I mean, I feel like at this point Najee's probably one, right? I mean, are people still saying ETN's first?
I would take Najee.
I mean, I would. I'd take him over ETN at this point. He looks more like Derrick Henry than anything.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, like I guess a more athletic version of Derrick Henry. God, did that hurdle? Ugh.
Oh.
That's
standing like straight up.
It's the sickest thing I've ever seen. I mean, he jumped so high, didn't break stride at all. I mean, no stumble. Everybody who ever hurdles someone always stumbles after it. Always. That's how it works. Nope. Just complete full stride, hurdle, continues to stride. It's actually insane. Actually insane. But no, I mean, this was a good game to me because I felt like even though it was on scoreboard, it was a blowout. It felt competitive to the very end to me still. I don't know if that's how you felt.
I did. I still felt like it wasn't like
I still felt like both teams were playing their hearts out, which I'm sure had a little to do with what Dabo was talking beforehand. But it was a good game, and we'll see if Ohio State can do that in the championship, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I was gonna say, as before we get to our break and flip to NFL, I wanted to ask you your picks, anything you wanted to add for the national championship, and then of course give you a little Sark time before we move on to the NFL. So I'll kick it off first on the national championship on Monday. I will take Alabama, but right now I will definitely jump on that 8 points for Ohio State. I think it will be a back and forth, very offensive heavy game. But I know that Ohio State has Sean Wade, but he can't cover everyone, especially if Waddle is back. I mean, the Ohio State defensive line is very good. Always will be, has been. But Najee will still get his yards. He can also catch out of the backfield, plus all those weapons. I just don't think any team in college football has enough to stop. You have to outscore, which Ohio State is capable, but I just think it'll just be a shootout that Alabama can win.
Yeah, I feel the same thing where I think Alabama will win. I think Ohio State will cover that spread. I think the big difference will be in this game is that I don't think Sermon will be able to run like that against the Bama defense. Although I do think this is one of the not as great defenses that we've seen out of them this year as in the past. I don't believe in them as much this year as I have in the past, I guess is what I'm saying. I'm not saying they're not a good defense because Alabama's always a good defense, but I don't think Sermon's going to run for almost 200 yards. But I do think Najee's still going to be able to do what Najee does against the Ohio State defense. So I think them being able to implement the run game opposed to Ohio State probably having to lean a little bit more on Fields might make it a little bit more difficult for Ohio State because I think Bama will just be able to play that more balanced game that they're looking for, and I think that'll kind of give them the edge a little bit. But I do think it's going to be a really great game. But, yeah, Bama win, but Ohio State covers.
Over-under is at 75 right now.
Woo!
I
wouldn't touch it.
Yep.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch it. I wouldn't want to touch that at all. No, thank you.
Well, that OC that helps put up a lot of points for Alabama is your new head coach. So, he was on your list.
He was on my list. I went back and watched that or listened to that little blip, and when I said it, there was a little bit of I don't think y'all thought I was going to say him, but I'll say this.
I was just saying, when I was surprised because I had saw his name floated before, and it's not that I didn't think I think I sent it to you guys, and I think it was, I guess I just misread your reaction. I thought you both were like, okay, I wouldn't be bad. So I didn't see it as a reaction of, oh yeah, that guy's on my list.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, at what point did you send that to me? Because there's a possibility you sent it to me at work, and I saw it and was like, oh, okay, and then had to go back to keep working or doing whatever.
That's
so
fair. I don't know. Yeah.
But no, I like Sark. What I said on the previous podcast about him held true. Exactly what I said, where I said the reason I think Sark is a good choice and why we would go with him is Del Conte, the athletic director for Texas, clearly wants a name that is noticeable that will make it in the headlines and everyone will know who he is when we sign him. Well, that was Urban Meyer. We didn't get Urban Meyer. And when you look at the pool of candidates that were available, there wasn't another guy like that. The next guy up is Sarkisian, whether it's his name is noticeable for a good reason or not, his name is noticeable. And he is ready to be a head coach again. He's obviously led Alabama with this incredible offense. He calls the plays there. He was on the route to having a really good team at USC, and it appears that he has kicked his problem, and he's doing fine. And so he's ready for a head coach job. People know his name. Let's get him in here. That makes headlines and keeps Texas in the news. And that's what happened. I am excited for him. I don't know if they've already been crushed or not, but I have been saying for weeks, I'm pretty sure I said it on the show, I want Muschamp back as defensive coordinator.
I think he turned him down.
Did he end up turning him down? I didn't know if it was...
I saw rumors that he turned it down.
Well, there was rumors that Sark turned us down too at first, so
That's
you never
true.
know. But I've been screaming for him the second he got canned at South Carolina. He brings a different type of edge to your defense. He's a madman. He's the kind of guy that cuts his forehead and it's bleeding down his face and he doesn't care. So I just think we needed to bring somebody with a little bit of fire on for the defense, whether that's Muschamp or somebody else, whoever it is, needs to have some fire. And I'm excited about it. I think it'll be good. I feel a little bad for Tom Herman, but not really. It is what it is. So
Bijan for Heisman.
I think. Well, let's calm down. Not next year. Let's see what we have come his junior year, and maybe so. But
He'll definitely free him though.
Oh, for sure. He's gonna get yards. He's gonna get touches. And the quarterback battle is gonna be crucial. But we'll see. We'll see.
Be interesting to see where Herman next lands, because it's not like you said. It's not like he failed miserably at Texas.
No, he'll be, and
it wasn't
he will
good
be fine.
enough, but he's still. I mean, if you look at it, at any other school, not a blue blood, he's still got a job.
Yeah, he'll be perfectly fine. Tom Herman will be fine.
Yeah, you know what would be funny, and I'm not saying I want it, but it's the principle of, wouldn't it be funny? Michigan, if they're apparently keeping Harbaugh, we're going to be moving coaches around. So maybe Gaddis stays on the staff, maybe he doesn't. But what if we bring good old Tom Herman up to Michigan as OC? He can renew that friendly hate now with Ohio State again. Don't think he's got much friends up there anymore.
No, I would doubt he does. That would definitely be interesting.
If he's willing to take an OC, I mean, nothing against Gaddis, but I'd be interested for the fact that, I mean, I feel like his pure hatred of him and what's there at Ohio State, and the Ohio State hatred of him will bring another level to that rivalry.
Yeah, for sure. All I'm saying is his play calling
I don't want
decisions in the stretch is questionable at best.
I don't want it. I prefer to let Gaddis keep going with the players that he actually wants. So... Well, we will hit us into break here real quick, and on the other side, we'll hit you with some NFL playoff and Week 17 recap next.
Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money. And we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag. Visit the sportsbook. Click on your bet and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
At Amazon, we're pretty good at getting things done. We're pretty good at solving problems. COVID-19 is the biggest challenge we've had to face. The challenges are what motivate us. Like flying masks to our employees around the world. We're doing everything we can to get you what you need. And doing everything we can to keep our people safe. I'm former Navy pilot Sarah Rhodes, and I'm proud to lead our Amazon Air Network.
And we are back here doing NFL action now. So week 17, we had playoff spots locked up, seeds locked up, teams eliminated. And I think we're going to throw this in reverse here, and I think we have to touch on, I know it's a storyline that's still being dragged out, but we have not touched on it, so I feel like we're obligated to the Eagles-Washington football team Sunday night game.
Oh, mixed feelings, Dom.
Yeah, I mean, I ask you, if this game is at noon, do we care?
Probably not.
Exactly.
And I'll also say this. I don't think he was looking at the draft and tanking for a better place. I think the only teams that do that are the ones in the hunt for the first or second pick type of deal. I don't see a team like. Do you really think Doug Peterson was that? I don't know. To me, as a head coach, I'm probably not aware of if I lose here and all these teams lost this week, that means I could get up to the number 6. But like, no, I'm not paying attention to that. That's something the GM pays attention to, and I'm not. You know, I don't think that. From all accounts, it looks like he wanted to play him no matter what.
I was going to say, that's the thing. They went back and found him saying Nate Sudfeld will play in this game.
Yeah, and totally, and it's very clear from different player accounts. Jason Kelsey specifically today said that they had been working with Sudfeld all week.
Yeah, they knew he was getting reps at some point.
But my question is, if you want him in that bad, put him in at the beginning of the second half.
True.
When you see that a game's this close at the end like this, as a head coach, you should have enough fire under your ass to want to win that game. And when you've got this one guy that you know has been successful, he has not been not successful. Hurts has been good. Play the guy that's been good and can win you the game. I don't understand.
But at the same point, you could also look. I mean, he had the rushing touchdowns, but passing-wise, if you thought you had the pass to get back into the game, 7 for 20, 72, and a pick. Jalen Hurts.
I mean, what, in that game?
In that game.
I mean, okay, but like, let me ask you this. As a head coach, you're going into the offseason. You've had Sudfeld for how many years? 4, 5 years?
Year 4.
And at any point, Carson Wentz this is not the first year Carson Wentz has gone through a bad stretch. At any point, if you really wanted to, you really thought Sudfeld was that good, you could have put Sudfeld in for Wentz at any point. And you haven't. And now you have this young quarterback who's done pretty well, who you've drafted, why is he not the one getting looks at the end of a game that's close, that means something to both teams, especially the team you're playing? The team you're playing is trying to get in the playoffs. So if a team knows they win this, they get in the playoffs, or they lose and they don't, that is then right there, that's a playoff game. That's a playoff game. For Washington, that was a playoff game, right? So that's your first time to take a look at what Hurts does in a playoff situation. He's the younger quarterback. He's the one that drafted. He's the one you went with. Why would you not want to see what he can do in that situation? I just, to me, this is the culmination of the thing where y'all thought I was crazy. I can't remember if this was a conversation that we had on the pod or off the pod or maybe both, but I have said that I think Doug Peterson should get fired this summer.
Yeah,
I think he should get fired. And now it has just made it even worse. I think he deserves to be fired. He is not a good coach. He can't play calls. He does weird, stupid decisions. Why'd you go for it on 4th? Why didn't you kick the field goal? Tie the game. What are you doing? He needs to go. He's a horrible coach. He probably won't because he's got a Super Bowl in the past 4 years, but he needs to go. He's a horrible coach. That was a horrible decision.
Yeah. And I'll look at it the other way. You're a 6-10 team. I don't want to hear any crap out of you.
Oh, the Giants? Yeah.
I mean, don't
get me wrong. I get that they're upset, but don't cry about it on social media.
Yeah, you're 6-10. I have seen zero Dolphins players at 10-6.
Right.
Upset they missed the playoffs when the Steelers maybe play Big Ben, some other starters they didn't play, and win. The Dolphins are in.
Yeah, totally.
But we don't talk about that because those games happen at the same time at noon.
Yeah. Yep.
So I
But
just
this
have
is
a
what
hard
the
time
NFL
feeling.
wanted,
Yeah, it
and
is.
this is what they knew would be a thing because that's why they flexed this game. They flexed this potentially horrible game,
Yeah.
and it kind of was. I mean, even
It
though
also
it
was.
ended up being close, it was still a horrible game. And they knew that's exactly what they wanted because I guarantee. I don't know what the ratings were. I guarantee there was a whole lot of people watching that game.
Yeah. It's true. So, whatever. I think I have a bigger issue with the whole also Joe Judge. We'll never do that. And what was Emmanuel Ancho? I don't know if you saw that tweet. It's like
Can't wait to see
Saquon
getting 32 carries in a game that's like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you say that now, but if the Giants are in that position for some crazy messed up world, the Giants have the number 1 or number 2 seed locked up. They can't get the 1, so you can't get a bye next year. For some crazy world, they have that. Are you really? And you're playing a team that if you lose, it could help another team get in, or if you whatever you want to put that in, and you're going to run Saquon Barkley 32 times and let Daniel Jones air it out 40 because for the game.
Well, and here's the underlying joke in that tweet that no one wants to talk about, but the fact that, right, like Saquon's going to be available in Week 17 in any season at all. He's not available past Week 8. Come on. No, too soon? I don't care. I just, like, the dude doesn't stay healthy. He doesn't stay healthy. It is what it is. He had for only season he stayed healthy, it was his rookie season.
Yeah.
And I don't even think he was healthy that whole season.
Fair enough. Well, I feel like, honestly, though, there wasn't, out of Week 17, there wasn't a whole lot. I mean, not surprised that the Texans hung in there and then lost again because that's Texans on a doink field goal for the Titans. How can you left 23 seconds, let a guy run on the only play that can hurt you? Your Saints easily win with Taysom Hill, the running back, but also timeout.
Who is on COVID.
Oh, he is. I didn't see that.
Or not COVID. I'm sorry. Not COVID.
Whoa.
That's not what I meant to say. Concussion protocol.
Oh, okay. Still not good, but...
Still not good, but yeah. So we might not have him this game. Probably won't, actually. So Emmanuel Sanders got his money.
Yep.
That was nice to see.
Yep. 49ers, they just battle tough. The ugly game with Kyler going out and just first backup quarterback. That was rough to watch. Turned that one off real quick. I tried to watch it at the same. I had 2 screens going, and I couldn't even do that. I turned it off. It was just not fun. Chargers beat the backup Chiefs. Colts gave a little bit of a scare for a little bit versus the Jags, but they held on for their playoff spot. The Raiders and Broncos played. That happened.
Ugh.
The Packers, once again, Aaron Rodgers does not like to lose to the Bears. You have the Bucks easily handling Falcons. Tom Brady got some money as well. Antonio Brown specifically, I think. Also, Ronald Jones.
Mike Evans, too, I believe.
Mike Evans.
Yeah.
Mike Evans is the first receiver, 7 straight years with 1,000 yards to start his career?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
7
but
or
also,
8 years, whatever it is.
It's weird. There's that, but then also, don't you feel like he's overrated at the same time?
I mean, he's just really good, but he's not the superstar of superstars. He's just good. He's that guy. He's that dude.
He's good enough to get locked down by Marshawn Lattimore. Just throwing that out there.
7 straight years, yeah. Because he's been in the league for 7 years, and he has 7 1,000-yard seasons.
Yeah.
Way to be
4 years of getting shut down by Marshawn Lattimore.
We had the ugly game of Giants and Cowboys, another NFL East just crap fest.
Yeah.
The Patriots beat the Jets. Surprise there. Cam Newton had his best passing game. Interesting. We had the Ravens absolutely smoke the Bengals. The Lions get robbed by the refs, but it's okay. We got a better draft pick out of it. And then we had, I guess, the 2 most interesting games, but then really wasn't with the Bills just absolutely smoking the Dolphins. Tua throwing 3 picks. Chan Gailey stepped down from OC, so the Dolphins will have their 3rd straight OC in 3 years. To be fair, I think the Dolphins, with their plenty of picks, do need to help their offense out a little bit.
Yeah, I
Give a
think
little more
they'll.
weapons.
And they still have an offensive tackle they need. So
Yeah.
I imagine we all know what that number 3 pick is going to be.
Yeah. We even
Should be at least.
Should be, yeah. We even had a Matt Barkley sighting.
Ugh.
And then the game that broke the curse, or a playoff drought, whatever you want to say. The Browns made the playoffs.
Ugh.
I got that pick right. It was been a shaky road this whole time with my Browns playoff pick, but it came through. I might
There
have
you
bailed 2 weeks in or whatever, 3 weeks in, but they came back around for me.
Well, let's see how far you have them going in the playoffs.
Yeah, we'll go to playoff picks and starting out.
If you have the Browns going through, I'm going to be mad.
I have the Steelers winning.
Good.
If Stefanski was skilling and what was it, all, I think 3-4 other coaches and I think only a couple players, but that's too many guys on COVID.
Yes,
I think I would have done the pick out of just wanting it, even not believing it with Stefanski and others there for the game, but with their main play caller out, I can't make that.
Yeah,
pick.
I wanted to do it just because I feel like this might be kind of a bland wild card weekend, as hyped as it's been. But I also have Steelers.
Yeah. We'll just stay in the AFC and finish up. We have Colts at Bills, and I believe we both have the Bills. We are going to see prime Phillip Rivers playoff action.
Gross. Josh
Pick
Allen and Bills.
6. I'm just going to put it out there.
He'll throw a pick 6.
Will happen.
I'll say Josh Allen throws 3 and runs for 1.
Ooh, okay. And then finishing up on the AFC side, we have the Ravens at Titans, and this game has me very conflicted. I think it has everyone. I am going to go with Baltimore out of the revenge factor after getting embarrassed last year, and they're on a roll right now. I don't feel super confident, but I also don't feel super confident picking Tennessee.
I actually am kind of confident picking Tennessee.
Okay.
The Ravens, their best wins have been against the Browns and the Colts this year. They have all of their wins have been against really, really bad opponents. They give up over 100 yards rushing a game, despite that defense being pretty good. They still give over 100 yards rushing a game. I think the only way they could beat the Titans in this one is if they kept Derrick Henry under 100 yards, and I don't think that's going to happen. So I'm going to take the Titans.
No. Well, on the other side, I know we're all going to have the same picks, but mentioning the games, we have Rams at Seahawks. It'll be a close game. I mean, it's the third time, those third battles. It'll be interesting. I don't think we have official word that Goff is back, but he's supposed to be, correct?
Yeah, he's apparently. I think they pretty much all but said it. He's going to be back.
Okay.
Still, I got the Seahawks.
Yeah. We have the Bears.
Goff might actually hurt them being there.
The Bears at the Saints.
Yeah, Saints.
Yeah, Saints win. They squeaked in the playoffs, though. The Bears did it.
They did. I think we'll pick off Trubisky a couple of times.
Interesting, Trubisky. Well, I guess whatever you want to give him credit for, but 2 out of his 3 years he's been in the playoffs.
Sure.
Whatever credit you get for that, I don't know. You have the Bucks going to the football team.
Give me the Bucks.
Bucks, yeah. We'll stay on the NFC and rotate back around. So with that, we have obviously the same pick. So that means Seattle will go to New Orleans and Tampa Bay will go to Green Bay. And give me Tom Brady not wanting to be in the cold. Give me the Packers. He left the cold for a reason.
Yeah, give me the Packers. And also, is that what it is? Are you sure that's what it is? I think you've got that backwards. I think the Bucks would go to the Saints and the Seahawks would go to the Packers. Nope, I've got it wrong.
Okay.
You've got that right. I've definitely got that
the higher seed goes to...
Yeah, I looked at that backwards. Yeah. I've got it wrong. Yeah, you're right.
So, but yeah, Tom Brady left the cold for a reason.
Yeah, Packers, same thing.
I also don't think you get Aaron Rodgers in that flustered twice. Like
also,
the Bucs did. Like they did the first time, that's not happening for Aaron Rodgers the second time.
Yeah. I've been saying this for 2 years, too, that I really like the Packers' defense. I think they're a good defense. I like their pass rush and obviously Jair Alexander and their safeties. I really like them. So I got the Pack.
We have Seattle at New Orleans, and I think this would have been, man, told me this halfway through the season, this would have been I've been pumped, but I don't know. Seattle's just been kind of just, I don't know if you want to call it cruising or just eh.
I would have said the same thing then that I would say now about it. Is it's two good offenses,
But only one
and
good defense.
one good defense.
Yep.
The Seahawks defense is horrendous, and I think that's a game that Drew would actually cook. Like I think Drew could cook them, like for real. There's not a lot of teams in the NFL left that I think he could do that to, but I think he could pick them apart.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, they'll be fun games still. I don't
I know one thing. I don't want to play the Bucs again. There's no way we can beat them 40 times. There's no way.
That's fair.
You can beating
there.
a team twice is hard. Beating them 3 is impossible.
Yeah. Well, back to the AFC side here real quick.
Ours is going to be different.
Yes, I was going to say I have Pittsburgh at Buffalo and then Baltimore at Kansas City.
I have Chiefs versus Titans and Bills versus Steelers, I believe.
Yeah, so we have one game the same. The other one's different.
Yeah.
I will take, not dramatic,
I have a feeling we're
Bills
still
and
going to have the
Chiefs.
same. Yep, same. I have Chiefs beating the Titans probably pretty easily, and then the Bills Steelers game would be interesting to me.
Defensive matchup.
But I'll still take Bills.
Yeah, well, we'll stay on this side. Do you take your Buffalo Bills over the Chiefs?
I really, really want to, but I've got to hold steady what my original prediction was to start this season. In the off season, I predicted a certain Super Bowl, and I think that Super Bowl is still going to happen. So I'll go Chiefs. Although I did have Chiefs versus Bills in the AFC Championship, if you do remember, I have been predicting that the Bills would be this good all season. No one believed me. There you go. Josh Allen is a good quarterback. Thank you.
Did I not believe you? I mean, I had him in the
No,
playoffs.
everyone else you had him in the playoffs, but not like this.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to circle the wagon. And you know what I said is I just think it's too hard to make the Super Bowl over and over and over. You'll lose at the AFC Championship every once in a while. Give me the Bills.
All right. Go Josh Allen. He's a star.
And I believe then we will go to the NFC side with the Saints going up to Lambeau.
I'm so nervous about that. If that happened, I don't know how Drew can play in a cold game. I don't know how.
Taking a discount double check and give me the MVP Aaron Rodgers.
Like I said, I gotta stay steady to what I said at the beginning of the season. I think this is a rough game for the Saints in the cold. I think we'd have to lean on Kamara and Latavius Murray a lot. I think that would actually need to be a Latavius Murray game, honestly. But I'll take the Saints in a rough-fought game.
All right. Well, that leads two very different Super Bowls. I'm going to go with your relocate the Super Bowl. I've got Buffalo and Green Bay. Let's just change it and move it up north. We need a
Gotta be a cold
Super
game.
Bowl. I will take Mr.
Put it in
Aaron
Kansas
Rodgers
City.
getting that second Super Bowl finally.
Yeah, I think they should play that game in Kansas City.
That would be good.
Yeah. Arrowhead would be nice for that. Saints versus Chiefs. I predicted this at the beginning of the season, and I predicted Drew gets his Super Bowl and rides off into the sunset. He's definitely going to ride off in the sunset, whether that's with the Super Bowl ring or not. But I'll take Saints. I actually genuinely do think that if we are able to get to the Super Bowl, we will win it.
I mean, you played them close without a lot of players.
Correct.
So.
We played them close without Michael Thomas. It was Drew Brees' first game back, having not thrown a ball in a month. A lot of our defense was hurt. We're finally healthy now. Michael Thomas coming off the IR. So is Deontay Harris. Our defense should be healthy. I like our chances against the Chiefs if we play them again. Like I said, really hard to beat a team in the NFL two times, and especially when it's a good team like the Saints. And I think we'll be able to have their number, and I think Drew Brees will come up more fired up for that game because I think he'll know it's his very last game and he'll give everything he has. Hopefully that's not to his detriment. Hopefully he doesn't trust his arm a little too much and throw some picks down the field. But either way, I think no matter who we play, if we were to get to the Super Bowl, I think we'd win that game.
That's fair enough. But I mean, I think we gotta. I say this, and I think we both say, "Oh yeah, this is just kind of not this wild card." I mean, there'll be good games, but nothing that wows. But we say that, and they're going to be like the best wild card game we've ever seen. It's about
yeah, it could, but
it's hard to be wowed right now.
Yeah.
They're going to be good. It's not like don't worry about watching it.
Any playoff game is good, Tom.
Yeah, there's going to be solid, fun games, but it'll be interesting. I think the second round will be definitely where we're going to hit some strides because we don't have that 2 bye week. Those 2 teams on a bye, so that is a different approach than we've seen. We don't have those. If we look, I'll just say real quick before we finish up. I want to say someone wants to look up the teams with those 1 and 2 seeds. What's the percentage they usually make the Super Bowl? So it'll be interesting now that we only have 2 overall.
Yep.
So we'll be, of course, coming back with a recap of the wild card weekend and the national championship game. So even more great football in store. So catch us next week. We're out.